About 7 years ago, I embarked on a journey that I had been dreaming of for decades. What was I dreaming about? Professional sounding audio. The first song I produced was a kids' educational song about counting to 10. It sounded like this.
We count the numbers to 10. La da da da.
Yeah, pretty simple, pretty straightforward. That was my first track I ever produced and released out into the public. What was my main takeaway from this first track that I produced? Producing music is really fucking hard. So that brings me to today. I'm skipping forward. I had a few different sections. The kids' educational content bucket. Then I did the new agey, relaxing music bucket that I composed over 100 songs for. Then I dabbled in lo-fi chill music because, hate me if you will, but I find it very relaxing and enjoyable and fun to create and produce. But as of right now, those were the buckets I had been in up until I moved to my own brand, Nick Romriell, where I've been doing some comedy for a while. I tend to get bored with musical styles fairly quickly. It's kind of a problem. Anyways, here is my latest song, about the same length as my first one. Also acoustic guitar, simple, straightforward, catchy, in my own personal opinion. Here it is, Ado, Fuck You. So, aside from the very obvious difference between my first song production and my most current song production, there are some other things to note. Neither of them are pro all the way heard on the radio level. As much as it pains me to say it, 7 years has not been long enough for me to become a professional writer, composer, arranger, mixer, mastering engineer, the whole 9 yards all in one. Haven't gotten there yet. I probably never will become a professional music producer. 7 years of music production. Here is, I guess, my big takeaway. You can do your own A/B comparison. Is the first song way worse than the last song? I don't think so. Is my latest song the best song I've produced? Hell no. However, here is where things get interesting. The first song I produced, We Count the Numbers to 10, that song took me almost 6 weeks to produce. Crazy? Yes. You might be able to do it faster. You probably can do it faster. That's simply how long it took me to produce that first track. The second song I played for you, Ado, Fuck You, took me all of a couple of days' time. Yep, that is the difference that 7 years makes. The first song, I was sweating bullets. I was watching a ridiculous number of tutorials. I had zero clue what I was doing. I bootstrapped my way through it. I struggled through it. I sweat through it. I cried through it. I had no clue what the fuck I was doing back then. I did multiple mixes. I deleted my mixes. I went back and redid my mixes. And in the end, I still wasn't very happy with how it turned out. This most recent one, I watched zero tutorials. I simply went in and put it together, tried out some different things, did some sound design, tried a mix, tweaked the mix, tried a few different mastering ideas, and I didn't break a sweat. I didn't cry. I didn't have any sleepless nights. I didn't have to stress. Does it sound good enough in the car? I already knew it did sound good enough in the car. I didn't even need to check because I have made a lot of progress. Lesson 1. Music production is harder than you think it is. Lesson 2. If music production is simply a means to an end to get your song out into the world and sound professional and polished, take a different route. Don't spend your money and time trying to learn it all yourself. You will likely turn into a music producer and nothing else because it's that time consuming. Lesson 3. The DAW you own is good enough to make a professional sounding song on already without all those extra plugins. I heed you caution in going down the rabbit hole of audio plugins. Please, please, please do not jump into it and start gobbling up all the plugins. Take a day, take a week, sleep on those purchases. Lesson 4, music production is really fucking enjoyable. Lesson 5, be very wary of everybody's advice on the internet, including mine. Seriously, this is my lived experience. This is the journey I've been on over the past 7 years. It's not your journey. It's not your life. Do as you will. Break all the fucking rules. Lesson 6, do not get bogged down by all the silly, tiny little microscopic tips and tricks that everybody and their fucking dog on the internet's trying to sell you. Music mixing is complicated, but there doesn't need to be 4,000 videos out there on it for you to be able to learn how to do it. Don't watch a billion videos, just trust your gut and go with what sounds good to you. There are some principles to follow. There are a lot of lessons to learn, but be very wary of jumping down the rabbit hole of little tiny niche advice that you can apply supposedly across the board everywhere. Because you can't. Every song is different. Every mix is different. Every artist is different. You have your own unique sound and flair. After you've copied a bit, go and try and make it your own. Learn the principles, but don't get bogged down by all the hype and the constant tutorials about every little microscopic thing. Most of it is frankly bullshit. Lesson 7, listen to the mids. This one actually did probably help me above anything else. Focus on the mids. Seriously, start with the mids, and everything else will mostly, not entirely, but mostly pretty much take care of itself and work out. Focus on the mids. The point is if it sounds really good there, oftentimes it ends up sounding really good and translating really well across the board. If you want to be a producer, you can do it. You don't even need to go to school. There are plenty of people on the internet that have proved that now. Not that you can't. If you have the money, if you can afford to do it, if you have the resources, great. Go get an education in music production. As for me, I'm hanging up my music bedroom producer hat for now and likely well into the future. I realize that if I want to take it to the next level, I need help. I need somebody who is far more experienced than me to help my songs sound more polished. I want to put out way more songs. I literally can write a song in minutes. I do it all the time. I cannot produce a song in minutes. In fact, even though it might only take me a few days, it's still a ton of work. And that last one was a very simple one. It's still time. It's still energy. I have other things I want to explore creatively. I have other places I want to go. I'm excited for the future. Hopefully something here resonated with you and helped you out. I wish you all the best on your musical production journey. I'm cheering you on. Go for it. I salute you in your journey. Catch ya in the next video.